Hi, everybody. Welcome to Redmond's podcast. It's been a while. Sorry that these things are so sporadic, but I've been having somewhat of a difficulty trying to figure out what I want these podcasts to be about. And then I came to the decision that I just want them to be about whatever the hell I want them to be about. So, in the last one, I said that I was going over my life story and kind of my childhood transitioning into coming to America and that sort of thing. And then I said that I met someone named Amber and that I was going to cover her in the next podcast. Don't really feel like doing that anymore. Kind of, to hell with that idea. So I'm just going to move on to something different. And today I have my girlfriend Nicole on.
Hey guys.
And today we're planning on talking about something that we've been wanting to talk about for a little while, and that is essentially what is and what is not socially acceptable in terms of breastfeeding and that sort of thing. And that's what we're going to start talking about. However, when Nicole and I talk and we have our conversations, it tends to spiral into different topics, so I hope you just kind of bear with us, and it might get kind of hard to follow, but that's what we're going to start talking about. So what exactly sparked this idea? Because I got a random text the other day saying, oh, I have an idea for the podcast. We should talk about stuff like public breastfeeding and how men can have their upper body showing completely and it be totally fine, like at the beach or whatever. But if a woman does it, it's considered nudity and it's socially unacceptable and that kind of thing. So what gave you that idea?
I was actually watching a YouTube video that you suggested. It was like the YouTuber that you suggested to me to watch. And I was just going through his channel, and one of them came across a video to where he was talking about there was a woman and he could not show the woman's breasts, like he couldn't show her nipples or her areolas or whatever. However, if you took a picture of a man's nipples and put the picture of the man's nipples on the woman, then he could show it. But they're the same thing.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I don't know, it just, I started thinking about it, and then we started talking about how, like, breastfeeding that's a natural thing. That's things that every person does. That's like a natural human thing. And people look at it like it's so disgusting and it's disgraceful if you do it in public. But you're feeding your child. You're not...
I've always kind of found that to be weird. How people want to see topless women, right? All day. They're just like, yeah, flashes. But the second they're being used to feed a child, it's like disgusting and gross. And there's a couple of videos on YouTube of, like where they do like social experiments where she's not really feeding a child. It's like a doll or something, but she's, and they'll be like, man, that's disgusting. You need to not do that out in the street. Blah, blah, blah.
What if a girl was like standing down the street like, hey, I'll show you my boobs, and guys would be all over it. Girls too. Not to like stereotype guys, but people would be like, yeah, let's see it. Show us.
Yeah, I've always found that to be a very weird behavior.
It is. I don't understand what's wrong with it.
Me neither.
But
some fat hairy guy can just take off his shirt and that's fine.
There's literally no difference between mine and yours.
Well, like, I'm not trying to get into trouble here, but I would much rather see a woman topless than a man topless.
Me too, so it's okay.
Because I don't... like, that's just one of the things that I don't understand. But why do you think it's that way? Like, why do you think... what is your opinion on why people are disgusted with the feeding of a child, but not if they're just out?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we as humans are very, very sexualized. we live in a society where
I'd agree with that.
sex is within like the top 5 things for pretty much everybody. Like it's
Now, sex is probably, I'd say, number 1 in advertising.
it is. And I don't know, taking care of a child isn't. Does that make sense? You're not gonna go out and breastfeed a kid. So you're just like, oh, it doesn't matter. Not necessarily you, but just the general public. Until it's a mom taking care of her kid, then people don't really think about it. Until it's somebody seeing a pair of nice boobs, people think about it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's just not something that people think about.
I mean, it is weird because, like, everything is sexualized, like you said, and
Everything.
there's always some sort of attractive woman using whatever product is being placed in the advertisement. Hell, it could be I don't know, Staples. They've got like a new computer paper coming out, and it'll have some hot chick just like modeling around it, being like, "This paper is so great." And like you see the woman and you're just like, well, she's really attractive. I have to buy that paper. Like that's how some of like a good portion of the audience will see
Newsflash, that girl's not gonna magically show up in your office because you're using Staples paper. That's not how that works.
it. See, but that's what they do in the commercials, though. They make it sound like, oh, you know, your life is going to be great. Craig Ferguson said in one of his comedy bits, he was making fun of how people sexualize ads, and he was just like, you know, he had his phone, and he goes, "Oh no, tired of using a regular phone," and it has, you know, he's like cut to black and white where he's like, "Oh, it's so horrible using a cell phone. It flies out of my hand, it hits me in the cock, it runs around the house, killing the pets. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "What you need is the phone glove." "The phone glove, you say?" "Yes, the phone glove. What you do is you put it on, the phone fits snugly inside, everyone will think you're great, and everyone will want to fuck you."
That's crazy. Something that happens with like advertising like that is beer. Like everyone is like, "Oh, if you drink
So
if you drink
much sex
this beer,
in beer.
Yeah." And newsflash, unless you just get completely shit-faced, the world isn't gonna look like that. Like nothing's going to.
Well, look at stuff like, but see what I mean, guys? How it transitions from one topic into another. Now we're talking about sex in advertising and stuff. Look at a place like Hooters or Twin Peaks. It's like chicks wearing almost no clothing.
Okay,
And it's
why?
like beer and hot wings and...
Why is it okay? Okay, so Hooters, they all have nice boobs. Like when you think of Hooters, you think of hot girls.
I think a pair of Hooters.
Hot boob. Yeah, that's what you think of. But why do people take their children there if they're not okay with breastfeeding? Like, why? You know what I mean?
That's forever going to be a question that won't be answered.
People are so
'Cause
stupid.
it's not a family place.
It's not, but people have no problem taking their kids there. And like,
But if you say something like strip club, it's immediately like, you know, villainized,
No. Yeah.
and I will never take my kids there. But they'll take their kids to Hooters, no problem.
and I get the you know,
When, like,
the breast
everything
isn't
is hanging out.
exposed. But that's the environment, that's the idea. I wonder what would happen if there was a woman breastfeeding in Hooters. Like, I wonder how that scenario would go down.
They're probably like, "Man, that's disgusting. People are trying to eat. Get out of here." And then
Your titties are
and
hanging
it's
out.
like, yeah, it's like, "Ma'am, your left nipple is currently in my corn dog. Can you scoot back an inch or two and bring me a fresh corn dog?" But yeah, I've never like it's just so weird because there's like Twin Peaks is like that too, where
I've never
it's
heard of Twin Peaks.
well, the headquarters is in Dallas,
Mhm.
but there's it's just like Hooters. It's a man cave setting. There's really nice wooden tables and furniture. it's like a Hooters knockoff, basically. And the chicks wear, instead of the chicks wearing like the tennis shoes and the short shorts and the white shirt, it's like a black tank top, booty shorts, and like those Ugg boots. But it's the same thing. They claim it's a family environment and this and that, but the girls are wearing like almost no clothing.
But people are fine taking their kids there.
But if you go to a strip club where they serve food, they have drinks, they have alcohol, and they have TVs, they have the same thing.
I don't know if that's necessarily the same thing, because a strip club, you were going to go see girls get naked. You were going, or guys, whatever.
So you think Hooters is a way to just get away with it because they're not stripping?
I think that's how they make it.
They go there to check out all the women, and because, I mean, all their stuff's hanging out anyway. And they won't hire bigger ladies to work there, or it's got to be...
That's bullshit.
It's got to be the Barbie doll body. They got to have the big boobs.
Yeah, the
they gotta have the big
stereotypical.
They got to have
girl.
They got to have the Valley Girl thing, where they're just like, oh my god, welcome to Hooters, and like, I don't think any Hooters girls are going to listen to this, but if you are, I'm sorry, but that's literally your description. Like, every Hooters girl is like that. The only thing they don't disparage on is race, because, you know, lawsuits and all that. But they won't hire any bigger girls to work there, because that's not what America, quote unquote, finds attractive.
We're gonna start talking about like bigger girls and plus size, and then I'm gonna go off on this like whole long big rant about it, because like that's something that I could talk about for hours.
We should save that for the next podcast.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be good on the next one. But for now, my opinion is that is places like Hooters and Twin Peaks. That's where a guy can go. Like, it was founded by men. Hooters was.
Mm-hmm.
It was founded by a group of men. A group of rich men playing golf. And
to say, oh,
they're just like, I just want a place I can go where I can watch football on the TV, have my beer, and have some hot chick with big boobs bring me wings.
And my wife not
food.
be mad about it because she's not naked.
Right.
Okay, so reverse back to socially acceptable things. Do you think that taking your kids to Hooters is socially acceptable?
No. Well, it depends on how old they are.
Okay, we're talking about like Kiara Cameron age.
No, not
'Cause that's
not an impressionable age, because it's just one of those things where it is very sexualized, and I wouldn't want my kid at such an impressionable age to be influenced by something like that.
Okay, so Harper is 16, 17, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's at an impressionable age. Would you take her?
No.
No.
I would take her only if she understood the fact that it's degrading to women. Because
but you would
not
take her to
not every
it.
like see every Hooters girl wears those booty shorts and the the really small tank tops and this and that, right? Not all of them want to wear that though. Some of them would like to wear like, pants to work or capris or something like that, but they won't allow them to. They make them wear those shorts.
They don't make them wear anything. They're there by choice. They choose to wear that because they know that they're going to get some bomb-ass tips. And same reason like strippers are okay with stripping sometimes. They make like 6 figures a year.
Don't you see a problem with that though?
Yeah.
Not with the strippers, with the Hooters girls. That if they want to be there, like they are there by choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they can't enjoy the environment and work in that environment unless they're wearing almost no clothing. Don't you see how there's a problem with that?
I also think it's bullshit that they wouldn't hire a bigger girl. I know plenty. See? No. We're stopping there because that's going to go way off. Okay.
Oh boy, the next podcast is going to be a good one. It might take a while before we record another one, but I'll make a habit of getting you riled up about big girls and stuff, and then it'll just be the Nicole Dalton show. So yeah, what do you guys think is, why do people have socially acceptable things and socially unacceptable things? Why are men allowed to be half naked? The upper half. Please, the upper half. But why are men allowed to just take off the shirts and nobody have a problem with it? Well, I mean, you can have a problem with it as an individual, but I mean in terms of social acceptance.
And it's legal.
Yeah. But, you know, and then what is y'all's opinion on in places like Hooters, where it's, you know, they claim to be a family establishment, and, you know, I'm sorry to be picking on Hooters, but it's really, to my knowledge, the most popular restaurant of its kind. You know, there are like restaurants like Twin Peaks and stuff that have the same sort of format. But what about restaurants like that in general, with that format, where it's like it's a man cave themed?
There's a restaurant where guys walk around and like
that just became
underwear.
a thing like 5 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, one just opened up here.
I don't remember what it's called.
I don't either. I don't know. It's the same thing as like a Hooters girl, but they're attractive guys serving your food and being all flirty and being like, "Hey, babe."
And they've got like the chiseled abs and you know, really Abercrombie-esque men.
By the way, that's not attractive. That'll be on the next podcast too.
But but yeah, like they just started making one of those, I guess, for the sake of equality or whatever.
Because it makes money. It's if I told you I was gonna go out for lunch with the girls, and that's where we were going, how would you feel about that?
Personally, I would trust you, you know.
Well,
but from a normal quote unquote standpoint, probably have a problem with it. Because there would be jealousy to a certain extent, and you know, these guys are, I don't know what they're wearing, but I know it's not very much. They're basically it's just cupping their cock and balls in a little thing, and they're just like, "Here's your lunch, ladies," and I'd be like, you know, I wouldn't want, and that's the thing too. You're paying to go there.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So why would I be okay with you paying to go have some half-naked guy hit on you and bring you lunch wearing nothing but a banana peel on his cock?
I don't know, but just so you know for the future, if you ever want to go to this strip club, I'm down.
On that note, we're going to go to the strip club now and catch you guys on the next podcast. So, but let me know what your thoughts are on socially acceptable nudity, and how restaurants with that format of beer, hot wings, football, and half-naked girls. Let me know what your thoughts are on both those topics in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So, and thank you to my lovely girlfriend for being a guest on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll catch you guys next time. So, y'all be safe, be well, and until next time.